For 10 long years, Daniel was the man everyone thought they knew. To the outside world, he was the picture of success, a brilliant architect, a doting father, and the devoted husband of Emily. He was a pillar of his community, the kind of guy you'd trust with anything. But that was just the surface. Beneath that carefully constructed image, Daniel's life was a maze of secrets, a fractured reality built on more than 100 lies. It all started so simply, or at least that's the story Daniel told himself. The first affair felt like a spark, a fleeting moment of excitement that seemed to fill a void he could even put a name to. It was supposed to be a one-time thing, a minor detour. But one detour led to another, and soon, the exceptions became the rule. Over the next decade, the encounters multiplied. Some were just stolen weekends, hurried afternoons, fueled by a rush of adrenaline. But others grew into something more. 4 women became constants in his secret life. Each offered a different escape, a different piece of the puzzle he felt was missing from his own identity. One gave him adventure, the thrill of the unknown. Another offered validation, making him feel seen in a way he claimed he no longer felt at home. A third provided comfort, a soft place to land without questions. And the last, she was pure escape, a way to forget he was Daniel, the husband and father, even for just a little while. How did he live with himself? He built a fortress of justifications. He wasn't happy. Emily deserved better. He was trapped in a life he never really chose. He convinced himself he was on a quest for fulfillment, but it was the secrecy itself that became the real addiction. The intricate planning, the close calls, the constant performance, it was a high-stakes game he was playing against himself. Each new affair felt like a promise that, this time, he'd finally find what he was looking for. But the emptiness always crept back in, darker and deeper than before. The weight of it all was crushing. He became a master of compartmentalization, a puppeteer pulling the strings of his own life. He had an excuse for every late night, a plausible story for every missed anniversary, a logical reason for the growing distance in his eyes. Emily saw it, of course. She felt the shift, the emotional chasm opening between them. But every time she questioned him, Daniel had a perfectly crafted answer ready, another layer of deception to shore up the walls. He was so good at lying, he almost started to believe it himself. The end came on a rainy Thursday evening. It wasn't a dramatic discovery by a private investigator or a fateful, accidental meeting. It was quieter and far more devastating. Emily was standing in the kitchen, her hands shaking as she held a thick stack of printed emails and text messages. The evidence of his secret world, right there in her hands. Her voice, when she finally spoke, was eerily steady, but her eyes were shattered. "How long, Daniel?" In that single moment, his entire world imploded. The carefully constructed walls, the intricate web of lies he'd spent a decade weaving it, all came crashing down. The truth, ugly and raw, spilled out. 10 years. Over 100 women. For long-term relationships running parallel to his marriage. Emily just stood there, listening in a stunned silence. Her face was a portrait of heartbreak, a mask of disbelief. When he finally stopped talking, she whispered just one word. Why? What could he say? For the first time, there were no excuses left, no elaborate stories to hide behind. He tried to explain the suffocating loneliness, the feeling of being invisible in his own life, the desperate chase for something he could never quite catch. He admitted his selfishness, his cowardice, his complete failure to face his own unhappiness and communicate it. He had chosen to betray instead of to talk. Emily began to cry, but her tears weren't just for the infidelity. She was mourning the lost years, the shared life that had been a lie, the silence that had masqueraded as peace. That confrontation wasn't just the end of their marriage. It was the beginning of Daniel's long-overdue reckoning. With everything stripped away, he was forced to finally face the profound emptiness he had been running from all along. He finally understood that no amount of external validation, no number of secret lovers, could ever fill a void that existed within himself. In the quiet aftermath, Daniel began the painful, slow work of trying to understand the man he had become. It was a journey of self-discovery born from self-destruction. The goal wasn't just to seek forgiveness from Emily, a forgiveness he knew he might never receive, but to somehow find a way to forgive himself. The weight of his secrets would likely never disappear completely. It would remain a permanent part of him, a constant, heavy reminder of the true cost of running from the truth. Thanks for sticking with us through this powerful story. It's a heavy one, but it holds important lessons about honesty, communication, and the consequences of our choices. If you found this story compelling, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the human condition. We'll see you in the next one.